Estamos bien, espérate. And hello, and we're live again. And we're going to go to a small commercial. And we're back. And I wanted to ask you a question. First, I want to welcome Nefertiti again. She's going to be one of the speakers um, for the business and art infusion. And I have a question.
Okay, I already feel like on the spotlight, ready to go.
What inspired you? And I'm going to tell you what inspired me every day. One of the
Okay,
things that
you go
inspired,
first.
not the only one. Cafecito.
Of course. Cheers to that.
What inspired you?
Well, I could go for a shot at tequila, at this time of the day, but that's a different topic. So, inspiration come in many different forms. I get inspiration from art. I am always surrounded by art, as you can see back here. I breathe and exhale art. And of course, nature. I have a beautiful background here in the property where I live. So I just look at the window, beautiful sky, great outdoor view. So that gets me going for the day. Of course, flowers. They are blooming. This is the season for it, and I'm always surrounded by it. So I get motivated, and I'm a big fan of neuroscience. So I have my mental hacks ready for the day, and I have certain strategic places through my environment where I place certain things that it triggers my mind to a happy moment, creativity, and get that spark going for the day. So I have a beautiful lamp on my way out. It's kind of Tiffany style. So I see that and I'm like, wow, that's, glamorous, and I love the feel. So that gets me going for the day. I get inspired by the different type of plants and flowers that I bring to my place on the weekly basis. Of course, I get inspired by fashion. My version of fashion, because I rock my gothic. I am not into the commercial mainstream, but I love lace, jewelry, anything that has a story behind it. And of course, talking with people and having those one-on-one conversations, it gets me inspired. It can be, from the janitor telling me a cool story from his background to the business owner sharing the last travel. So I always get inspiration on the daily basis from different places. It just gets poured from the universe in different forms. So it's no simple answer to that question.
It never is. But that's the scene, right? It might be one scene that inspire, and once you open yourself to the flow of ideas and you get into that magical zone of flow or genius zone or inspiration or whatever you want to call it. We used to call it the muse. Come, the poet would say the muse is coming to visit us. But whatever you call it, that is it's a magical moment where you are overflow with ideas, and the more that you open yourself to that, the more ideas that come. So
Yes,
you
they
do
do.
it. It's up to you. You can write, you can You can write it down, you can talk, you can sing, um, you can sculpt. There's so many different applications, and that's what I love art. Because there's so many different ways to manifest one idea. You can replicate that same idea in so many different ways. You know,
Yes.
it's not one thing and done. No, you
Eh,
repeat it.
Correct. And on that note about replicating and translating that same idea into different art forms, I want to share with you because we haven't connected in depth lately, but recently I had a conversation with one of the local libraries here in my area, and we're going to be doing a book in bloom. And I'm super thrilled about this because of two things, actually three. One, you are intertwining different art forms into one project.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I took it upon myself to make it inclusive for real, not pretend to be inclusive. So people from all ages and background can have access to it. Because I don't know in the rest of the country, but here in Massachusetts, Book in Bloom through a library, more often than not, and I'm not going to say like 97% of the time, it's very political. And it only gets the opportunity for the people head of the garden club, not even the people subscribe and members of the garden club, to get to showcase their genius and their creativity into um, Book in Bloom event. So I'm making this one I independently run, being me, the hellraiser that I am. So I am not involving any organization. This is for the people, for the community who wants to do their own way of self-expression through books, reading, and poetry. So
Well,
I'm over the moon with this project, and that's going to happen in September in the Wellesley Library. So back to the topic of intertwining different art forms, that's a very good way how to represent that thought, because you're going to have readers, you're going to have families, you're going to have people having different interpretation of a book. You have poetry, you have storytelling, the art of ikebana and floral design, and anything else that you can jam in there. It's all possible. So I'm super thrilled about this, and I'm just going from one project to the next and keep that creativity flow just going downstream, resistance, just go out for it.
and that's the key, right? One form of art doesn't negate another, and you can hear the little music of the dogs.
Yes. Well, you have that multisensory ambience. So you heard, the music, then you are like associating imagery to the conversation. Then you think about Miami, how colorful it is, what a party town that place is. So it gets all in there in the universe of your mind.
And you know what? I choose this background today. Do you like this background?
Well, I see that you have the business and art infusion. I don't know if that's the intended one or if I'm seeing the right one, because I know that mishaps happen sometimes.
Well, I actually choose this colorful background. It's a mix of colors. It's pretty pretty, and
Yes,
I
I
choose it on
see on the same.
purpose. Yeah, I choose it on purpose because somebody told me the other day that adults they only see in black and white, and I was like, how sad?
Well, since I haven't grown up, I don't know.
How sad?
I
Why? Why will we only see black and white when there's so many beautiful colors that just bring happiness, right? Because we get inspired by colors. That's one of the things that inspires. Like Carola is going to be talking about the psychology behind colors and how that can even uplift your mood.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
it's a science. It's a
it's a
thing.
science. You know, it's it's intertwined in everything that we do. We're surrounded by color. Nature is colorful. That's one of the reasons why when we go out and take a stroll in nature, we are get so relaxed because we are downloading all that sensory, all those colors and the smell and the nature, the quietness. The quietness is full of sounds like you can hear now.
Yes, it does. It's
You
a
know,
different kind of sound related to that ambience and that moment.
so and I think that that's what art does. It bring all those sensories together, and people, the artists, they have managed to put it together in a beautiful piece of art. But there's a lot of business into that, right? Because you still have to um, you even to get your exposition, even to get your books out in the bookstore, even to for a singer to perform. There's a lot of business side that's involved, right?
Yes, of course. Otherwise, you don't make it and you end up being the best kept secret on the planet. And you shouldn't be the best kept secret. You should be like the best well known talent. And
Hmm.
that's what we're doing, meaning you and I making some noise and bringing that arts and business together and bring a different perspective because sadly, everybody, like you say, is just so black and white, and it's not.
Yeah, I think we need to make a conscious effort to bring color and music um, to our life.
Well, we need to bring everything. We need to bring the good living, the art, the color, the music, everything, because you cannot keep things sustainable with one thing only or one thing missing, because then you don't have the equilibrium that you need for a healthy, well balanced existence. So here we are making this noise and having that spotlight for everybody to catch the drift.
Yeah, and I sure hope they turn up and come see all the different speakers that are going to be talking. Can you tell us a little bit about the what you're going to be talking about?
Okay, so I have two main topics that I'm going to be bringing to the event. One is the neuroscience behind Ikebana, which is the Japanese soothing art of floral design. And as you well know, I am a passionate mixed media artist, and I bring those two modalities into my daily life. It's a lifestyle, it's art, it's something that I share with everybody in my environment, and I'm extremely passionate about it because I have seen the miracles and the results from my own experience. So I want others to experience similar situations and enhance their quality of life. So my approach is intertwining neuroscience and floral design, but it's not your average floral design. This is more with that background from Japanese culture, Japanese art, humanistic Buddhism, Japanese philosophy. So it's a lot jam packed in there, and I don't even talk about it. I just let people to enjoy it, perceive it, and then if they want to dig deep into the meanings and all the different layers of the components that I put out there to the public, I'm delighted always to get into more details. And then the other topic that I'm going to be bringing is how to wow your audience, bring that wow factor that we are all needing. Because in these days of gloom and doom, everybody's overworked, underappreciated, underpaid, chronically stressed. We need things to break that pattern and just trigger your mind to better living and bring you a different perspective of the possibilities. And we don't have to spend a fortune. Living generously, it's a state of mind. You don't need a huge budget. I can just break it down by dollars and cents, and people will be like blown away. I can make anything look extremely affluent with very little budget. So that's what I'm bringing, that wow factor. How can you look generous even if you don't have a whole lot? How you can win people over because you are being mindful and paying attention to detail. And that's very important in business and art. Pay attention to detail because that's the power of one. You can make the day, you can close a sale, you can get that one single referral that can be the thing for the month out of just one single wow factor. So I take that seriously. And in addition, I'm a performer, so I like to be a little bit flamboyant and bring that stagecraft into everything that I do. And just like neuroscience, I advocate for everybody to experience it and extend it to others because not only makes the world a better and a happier place, but I guarantee you, you're going to see the difference in your relationships, in your business, referrals, in your recurring clients. Because in this time where everybody's too busy and nobody got time for that, if you pay a few minutes of close attention and you show that mindfulness to the receiving end, then you are making that everlasting impression. And this is something that artificial intelligence cannot do for you. This is human connection, and this is how you build relationships for long-term, sustainable collaborations. And that's how you're going to grow not only your environment, but your business. So I'm very adamant about it. And I'm just going to be making some suggestions and rocking my style, and hopefully, maybe, who knows, we get to have some community engagement and people send pictures of their version of Wolf Factor, a few wrappings or ideas for how to take my content into functional application in their environment, because I am not the kind to be talking from a stage. I want to see how what I bring is going to enhance the quality of life of my audience. So hopefully we get some interaction going and I get that feedback.
Well, let's make it a challenge right now. And there's some people that are listening, and thank you for listening. But I don't have your name because you have to accept us like a StreamYard first. But LinkedIn is what I use a comment that so fun listening to you or speak to our souls, and it definitely does to us as well. And I want to throw that challenge out there to anybody that's listening, or even that watch the replay later.
Actually, let me give a quick preview because I always have things for Wow Factor ready to go. So I'm going to go to the next room and get a sample of what I do and how I deliver. So back in 10 seconds.
And while she does that, I'm going to throw in the challenge to you that you're listening. Be ready to show your piece. Listen in, get her tips. She's going to be there in day one, and she's going to be there in day two. And get ready to participate because there's prizes. So you might actually win one of the prizes at the end of the 3 days. There's a lot going on for you. And
Okay.
show us your creativity.
So this is how I go about my lifestyle. I don't wait for the holidays. I make my own holidays and I extend that happiness to others. So I can be just delivering smiles and gifts like nobody's business on a Monday. I don't need a special occasion. I make the occasion. So I have a table which I keep few gift items ready to go because I believe that once you set the intention, the universe delivers.
Oh yeah.
So if I want to be in the party mode and I want to be in the festive mode and make new friends, I put it out there to the universe and I say, okay, the right person for this chocolate bar will come along. And you can rest assured that in the next few weeks, the opportunity is going to arise and the recipient of that chocolate bar, it will show up. So this is a sample, and this is a chocolate bar wrapped very organically, and there's no tape involved. I use twine. I am not doing the cloth wrapping, the Japanese style. I doing it with paper, but it's recyclable paper, and nonetheless, it's very organic and very sustainable. In addition, since I work with flowers and I like to recycle, upcycle, and be sustainable, whatever flowers don't get used, I dry them and I have them ready to go. I place them as accents on my gift wrapping. So I'm gonna show, this is
More.
what I have.
Okay.
So this is a dry rose.
Okay.
It's wrapped with twine.
Yeah, I like that.
There's no tape,
You,
and it's brown recycled paper. This is a coffee chocolate bar, small batch crafted in Boston because, I'm Boston fan, so I like to support the locals. And it's such a difference between just handing something out versus having the protocol of the gift wrapping and presenting it. It's not the same perception. People are going to remember, even if they didn't like the coffee or didn't like the chocolate flavor, they are going to forever remember this wrapping. I bet my life on it because I see it all the time.
because it's
So,
about how you make them feel. They will forget what you say. They will forget what you give them, but they won't forget how you make them feel.
right, because this is a very special wrapping. It takes time to do the wrapping, and people can perceive that attention to detail and the effort that you put in it into making an everlasting impression. So, and this is just a simple chocolate bar that reality is, doesn't matter how expensive the chocolate bar it is, it's not going to be a huge dollar amount. But the finishing touch is the gift wrapping. So this is one. Then I like to play with words and layers of meaning. And you know me well that I always say, rock your style, rock your style. I rock my style. That's all part of my lifestyle. So I have a friend of mine, which, by the way, you're going to meet him on Wednesday night. He's a Navy veteran and he lives in New Hampshire. He's going to come over to do a informal meet and greet in the evening, and we're going to go for drinks. And you just found out because I'm dropping the bomb on you. So
Okay.
his name is Jeff. And Jeff, he's a chief. Well, he got retired from the position of chief. And my nickname for him is Chief Rainmaker Amplified. There's a whole layer of in-house jokes in there, but I digress. So I always tell him, rock your style. And in this presentation here,
A little farther away. There. Uh huh.
so this is a dry, okay, let me try to get myself positioned here in the right direction. Okay, so here, this is a dry peony,
Okay.
small bud. Then I did a double wrapped. So you see that there's like a zigzag
Yeah.
section here. Again, the same type of brown paper. And what I have inside here, it's 2 candy rock sticks to sweeten your coffee. One is white and one is blue, and there are 2 counts, and it's called something like rock candy. And his birthday was earlier this month. So I'm going to make a little handwritten note and I say, rock your style.
Awesome.
So that's all about the presentation, the meaning, how playful you get, and all those in-house jokes. So this is another sample. Then the other one that I'm going to show, and again, this is not expensive. You just have it ready to go, make it festive, and deliver some smiles because the world needs it. So the other one here is just a goodie bag. just like a tiny party favor. It has all the sparkly print on the back, ziploc, but it has like a lollipop, assorted candies, truffles, chocolates. So, if, for example, I happen to get an appointment and I'm going to see somebody in the middle afternoon, and I know that often people get dragging in the afternoon, or they're craving a little sugar, or they are going through the day having a rough time, nobody gives them the proper attention or give them some love. You show up with a little goodie bag like this for refreshment in the afternoon, and it's just few dollars in this bag, but you're going to make everlasting impression. So that's just a sample of the things that I have at my door ready to go, because I know that the occasion is going to pop in a moment notice. So that's kind of a quick preview about the wow factor and how it goes.
And everybody that's listening and will watch later, be ready to come with your own wow factor. So you can win some prizes. Make sure
And
you
take some pictures.
yes, take some pictures, showcase it, and hashtag BAI22 and Amor Umbrella. And we make sure post it on the Facebook group, and we're going to be giving out some prizes during the summit. You have some of
And
the
that's
prizes.
and that's part of the wow factor. It's just wow factor everywhere: the prices, the presentation, the content, how we deliver, the smiles, everything. It's not just one single thing.
Well, there's something, and that's something I love about Akebana and the Japanese art. It's very traditional, right? And it's about lines, but it's not about just doing a line. It's actually using the lines to enhance uh, the presentation, and to they're using the Akebana and the back. They're using the lines, but it actually doesn't look like it's just a regular line. They're using those lines to make it more aesthetic, and make it different, right? And that's what the wow factor is. You don't want to blend in. It's so boring when you blend in. You
It
know,
hurts my feelings when I see people blending in. It's such a sin.
one of the things I love about my Red Hot umbrella, and is I always imagine this street full of black umbrellas, because almost everybody has a black umbrella, and there you come with a red heart, bright heart umbrella. It pops.
It does.
It does. So it breaks the monotony, and I love that. And I think that's the essence of art. Any form of art is just bringing the color, bringing life, um, in so many different ways. And 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 business, of course, I love that, because it's all about talking, about relationship, about communicating. We're doing business right now. We are
Yes.
using technology that it was thanks to the creator, somebody to come up with this idea to bring a computer, do the streaming, and the work keep going, even if it shut down for almost 2 years, because somebody had the idea to make streaming work. And can you imagine centuries ago when they had the plague and they had to shut down, and people had to shut down the whole world, and they had to burn people out, and you know they went back so many years. This time around, yes, we suffer, we stay stuck in the home, but we're still having conversation. You're in Boston, I'm in Miami. I have friends now that I never had before in Australia and Canada,
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
in
Same
Europe,
thing with me.
and we keep talking, and it's like we know each other because we've been talking for the last 2 years across the screen.
Yes.
And it only takes 4 times to create a product. 4 times. You do one thing 4 times, and your brain already become familiar with it.
Yes.
So that's amazing, and that is because somebody had an idea and figured out how to launch that idea, and we all benefit because of it.
Yes. And we're still having all those benefits from what happened back in those days, all that innovation, and then gets upgraded, it gets even surpassed, because from back in the day, in the 60s, the size of a computer, it was like an entire room. Now you have like 10 times the power of that old-fashioned computer on your hand with a smartphone.
But think about Leonardo da Vinci. He
Oh,
had
yes.
Leonardo da Vinci and his time, and he had made so many masterpieces, right? But one of the masterpieces that he did, he actually sketched a plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
When those things weren't even around, and it took centuries before we can actually make them fly. And now we fly them every day like it was nothing. I'm gonna be flying one of those on Monday. You know,
Yeah, and then I'm on my way to use one of those 2 weeks later. So I get it.
yeah, it's like and he had the ideas, and he did fly. He did have some kind of like wings. He made wings and he tested and everything, but it didn't go nowhere because he didn't have the technology. He was missing some pieces that came
Right.
later. Um, but that's amazing. Even Jules Burns. I remember I was a fan of all his books. I think I read all his books, and it used to be sci-fi growing
And
up.
I,
That's where you find it in the sci-fi section. There's
yeah,
one. I think there's only one book so far that is it's not sci-fi any longer. All of them had come true,
right. Yeah, I know. He was an amazing visionary. He was way ahead of his time.
and that's the power of creativity.
And also, that's the power of one, because he was the one making those things happen while everybody else was busy doing something else.
Well, it goes back to if you can imagine it, it's already possible. There's no such thing as impossible. Even in the impossible world, the possibilities are already inside the world. So it's just a mind shift. And that's what I invite everybody that's viewing this to take that mind shift and think about what can you make possible.
And
What
add some color to that black and white screen.
oh yes, please do. It's just going to make your day better. You start with one day.
Well, actually, I'm going to share something that I heard recently, which I have been doing anyways, but sometimes you need that one single conversation to bring the awareness. And then you are like, oh, yeah, that's how you label it. I have been doing it for a while and I didn't look at it that way. So I love my lifestyle. I love what I do. I'm happy on a Monday when people are hating their life on a Monday morning. So I am all the time, again, I cannot stress it enough, in the party mode. So this person, he is in Australia, and he was talking about what is your average perfect day. And that was such a moment of enlightenment, but at the same time being associated to that concept, because I have been doing it for a while and I have an amazing life, and it's an average, great, perfect day. I enjoy the architecture here in Boston. I have good people in my environment. I work with flowers on the regular basis. I rock my style. It's no all the time, peaches and cream. I have to do some extended hours and split hours, night, weekends, early morning, holidays. But it doesn't feel like it, because I'm being loved, I'm being appreciated, I'm getting all kind of treats and well compensated. And the fact that I get to be in such iconic city as Boston, that right there makes it like perfect average day for me. How many people out there in the rest of the world would love to be in Cambridge on a daily basis, or we love to be here in the Boston area, and I'm living it every single day, day in, day out. It's just mind blowing, especially, due to the fact that I have gone through so many challenges and I have lived in so many different places and I landed here. I own my space and it's just so rewarding. So you don't have to be thinking on the future that the future is going to be better. It's great right here, right now. What are you enjoying? And again, this is not about dollars and cents, and this is not about having the expensive life of a jet setter, but you can feel like a jet setter. You can go to a museum, you can enjoy beautiful things. So it's all on your state of mind and how you frame things in your brain. So for anybody listening live or the replay, I encourage you to do a list and put it out there to the universe. What is your average perfect day? Because mine is not going to be similar to anybody else on the planet. So, what does it for you? Is it walking the dog? Is it taking the kids to school so you don't have to be stressed out at the office? What is your average perfect day in your mind? And craft your schedule around making that beautiful thing happen. So, I'm going to interview you. What is your average perfect day?
My average perfect day. My average perfect day.
Okay, I know that you need at least three cafecitos.
Three cafes.
Yeah, at least three, I'm guessing. So that's part of the average perfect day.
Well, yes, that's normal. That's part of my diet. But I think my perfect day, my average perfect day, will be the day that I just immersing myself in experience. And it can be writing, it can be traveling, it can be listening to music. But I love to immerse myself because I get lost. I get a little lost, and that's fine. I become a little explorer into what I do. I can spend hours um, just creating a sketch, but there's something magical about it. And sometimes that happens when the more like my to-do list is big, and I end up doing something like a sketch, and I spend hours on it. But you know what happens to that? And I love to do that because even when I'm getting lost on doing this piece of art, something happens. And the answer I was talking, when that happens, it comes up,
Yeah.
you know. And that's the power of creativity, the power of art, right? It seems like you're not doing anything. Maybe you are like thinking, oh, this is not very productive. But it's actually magical because it's helping you think along. It might give you the space that you need or the answer that you need for something that you're
Yes.
working on.
Well, that's how divine intervention works. You get that download of exact information or decision or spark or idea that you were needing at that time. And that's something that everybody should think about and foster. Have that quiet time and make it part of your average perfect day. Because the running around, it's not going to get you far. It's going to stress you out, burns you out, and you are not even going to get a good night's sleep. So there's no use for such a thing. You always need to allocate time to reset. And I always advocate for that.
And it can be, I know some people, some have a very busy life, but sometimes it only take like 5 minutes. Dedicate that space to maybe meditate or to listen to a song, anything that is going to give you the space Because our brain is a computer, right? And sometimes we run out of RAM memory.
Well, the computer needs to reset every so often.
I know mine is always protesting, literally. But that's what it does for us, right? It gives us that little space, and then that's
Yes.
when magic happens. Usually,
And
that's
it's
that
very needed.
when that muse comes around to visit us, right?
I
But yeah,
think that the muse it's always around. However, not always you pay attention of her presence.
and what a shame, right?
It is.
What a shame, because somebody told me once, you have an idea, it was given to you.
Oh yeah.
It was given to you by the power being, but somebody out there. So it's up to you to do something with that idea, and you let it
Yes.
go to waste. Wow, what a
And
shame.
that's sad. Yes, it is.
That's a shame.
Well, but we get conditioned to get the approval and ask the next person, what do you think? Should I do it? What do you think? You're doomed. If you do that, you are never going to get places.
Well,
If you get the idea, you just have to get the resources how to make it happen. Of course, get well advice from the people who can help you make it happen, but don't try to get approval from the neighbor, the spouse, the family member because they don't have that vision. That idea doesn't belong to them.
it's ideas are wonderful. Ideas are amazing, but some ideas take a little bit longer than others. Some ideas take a little bit more resources than others. So you kind of have to that's part of the brainstorming, right? You have to figure out how to make things happen and what is the piece. Like the love of bread, it was invented years before it came around. It wasn't until the author brand came around about the idea that we all started using love of bread already cut it. Before that, it wasn't a thing. It was like 5 years ahead of his time. And the person that invented, like, nobody wanted it until somebody came along and saw the
The
importance,
value.
the value on that idea. Look at the peston. Somebody had the crazy idea of, it wasn't crazy, it was actually an amazing idea. Uh, he painted two little, a little face in a stone, put in a little presentation, put in a little box, make it look funny, make it look elegant, and you give it to somebody as a pet stone. You don't die. You don't get sad because your pet
Ooh.
died. They make millions with that idea,
Right.
you know. And he had his cost. After 6 months, it was over. But you still can find it on Amazon, you know. So it just that's part of the discovery of your ideas, right? You get an idea is how are you going to implement it, what it's going to take to implement it, and what is how it's going to end up being.
Right.
What is the transformation? But that's part of the journey. That's part of the discovery process, and it's a fun ride. It's a fun ride. But
Well, hey, my unsolicited advice for everybody listening is to enjoy the now. I have been saying it for years. Today, right here, right now, are the good old days. Because I don't know what's up with people that they have this fascination by the good old days. Well, you were not happy back then, so why now you are thinking about the good old days? It's some sort of fantasy that people get conditioned to miss the good old days. Well, let's enjoy right here, right now, and be aware and mindful that these right here, right now are going to be the good old days. So enjoy it, write it, have a blast.
yeah, we use the past to get inspired, but we need to move to the future because the present only lasts a moment.
Yes.
So don't get stuck in the past. Move to the future.
Well, and you shouldn't be stuck in the future either because it's to be developed and revealed. So you have again right here, right now. So this is it.
This is it. So I can wait until Wednesday where we're going to be launching. It's
Wednesday.
going
What Wednesday? Monday's around the corner and I'm getting you at the airport. So I don't have to wait until Wednesday.
but everybody that's watching and they ready to watch the summit, you know, you stay tuned because it's going to be amazing, intensive for sure. I'm going to need a lot of coffee. I don't know. I have to figure out that part. I need lots of coffee.
Ooh, well, that
um,
one I don't know because we don't have cafecito in Starbucks and that's what it's available at the venue.
I'm going to have to get me a thermos. but,
You know, the
but
best thing that I can do for you is that we pre-made it here at home and then you reheat it at the venue or something like that because we don't have cafecito around here. Sorry.
yeah, I'm going to figure that out. um, but yeah, can't wait till Wednesday. I can see you. Wait to see you. And, you already have one challenge, but there's going to be a lot more. So
Which one? Brief me in. Which one did I miss? What's the challenge?
they're going to post a picture of how they're going to bring the wow factor so they can win
Oh,
some
okay. I
prizes.
thought that you. Oh, okay. I got confused. I thought you were talking me having a challenge. Like what? When? How? Okay, so this is for the audience, not for me. I already dropped the content.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Any last words for today?
I am just going to send much love and appreciation, encouragement, unleash that creativity, whatever that looks like for you, and let it bloom. This is the season.
Let it
And
bloom.
let it bloom. This is going to be the mantra for the next few days.
That's cool. And I'm going to be at that September Books and Bloom.
Well, are you going to come?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You're coming to
Uh,
the Miami one, the David one.
yes, yes. So,
And
well,
we're going
it's,
and we're
are
going
you
to tell
going to?
the audience about that soon.
Okay, so we're just dropping sprinkles of gunpowder. It's not a
No,
bomb yet. It's just
it's
a
not a bomb.
sprinkle of gunpowder. So we're gonna do Books in Bloom, Miami version and Massachusetts version. Is that how it's going?
Um, yes, we're gonna have our own amazing experience because the festivities are yours starting now.
Hey, we have to make a festival year round. Don't wait for the holidays. And
Hmm.
that's the other thing. You don't know if you make it to the holidays. I rock my style. I look pretty lively, but I lost track how many times I have had a very close call with the death. Like I was not going to make it to the holiday. So that's part of my behind the scene. I make my own holidays because I had experience in the past that I didn't know if I was going to make it to the next one. So why wait?
I think we just need to do it because you never know. You never know where it's going to take you. We just need to try. So
So
I can't wait to see you.
let's
Okay.
make it a holiday. It's going to be a week long holiday.
All right, and let's go with some music. And with that, we
We're
are.
back behind the scenes. Hey, by the way, that's a pretty cool trailer. I love it. Very techno, kind of science look in there.
I like.
IT, yeah, I like it.
I like. Okay, And with that, until tomorrow.
So, what time are you doing the podcast?